He's one of the best scientific minds we have today.
And we're back. Welcome back to the No Chops podcast. This is episode 2, like the Attack of the Clones. That's a Talib Kweli line. This is the No Chops podcast with Lump. I'm Lump, and this is where we chop it up with no chops. What happened to me in the past week? I had a birthday. I got a year older. I didn't mention on the first one that I'm a stand-up comedian, but a lot of you watching already know that I do stand-up. I do. For I'll be 13 years in about a month. And the third weekend of January is the anniversary. And I started doing stand-up because of a friend of mine. But we'll come back to that. Today we'll be covering hygiene because y'all are nasty and we need to talk about it. We'll talk about growing up poor but hustling. We'll also talk about dealing with the public, and we're going to discuss women. And it's not your everyday average conversation about women, but then again it is, because we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it a little festive. We're just going to talk the way we talk. What happened to me in the past week? Like I said, I had a birthday. Got a little older. In the past week, I hit some stages. Got some book shows. Been getting booked a little bit. I'm happy about that. Definitely put my time in to get to this point. Earlier this week, I was in Mount Holly for a show with Elijah the Barber in the SIGU Comedy Club. If you're in Jersey or in the tri-state area, the Delaware Valley, please look up Elijah the Barber. Very funny dude. He's also a barber, so you may want to get a chop up. I might have to go see him myself. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 10. That's my barber. But Elijah the Barber had an event in Mount Holly, New Jersey. It was a nice crowd there. It was me, myself, Grizzly, the comedian was there. Chica Loca was there. Just want to say something about that show in particular. So I'm looking at the flyer, and we might be able to put the flyer up. And on the flyer it says CU Comedy Club, and it's hosted by, the show is being hosted by Elijah the Barber, and the featured poet is True Lyric. So I'm waiting, I'm sitting in the crowd, I'm like, yo, I can't wait for the boy, whoever True Lyric is, to come out. And it's Elijah the Barber. And it fucked me up so much I forgot to mention that during the show. But it was great poetry, and you need to hear some of his poems. They're very well thought out and written. And he's also a funny dude, so props to him. Had a great show that night. The next show that I did was on Saturday the 16th, the 16th being my birthday. It was at Sojo's Comedy Club, and the featured acts were Toure and Talent, who are two of the best comedians on the planet, and that's real talk, and that's not just from me being an understudy to them or being a fan of them. They're just very, very funny dudes. I got to go up and do about 7 minutes. I had a great time. I had a great set. Also, props to Granville Bazemore. Very, very, very funny dude. He's been doing it a long while now. And I usually don't get to see him rock out, but he rocked out. And then yesterday, the 18th, I did a show at the Kisme sushi bar. And it was a packed room, and props to Usman Habib for putting me on that. That was good stuff. But we're going to get right into it. Hygiene. Y'all are nasty. Let's get to it. So, about 2 years ago, right after the world opened back up, because y'all remember we was in the pandemic and shit, right? My pandemic experience is different from a lot of other people's because I was essential. I was delivering appliances. And so I got to come outside every day. I was never really quarantined. But right after everything opened up, shows started happening and open mics and that sort of thing. And I was at Fergie's Pub, which is downtown in Philadelphia. 1210 Sansom Street, man. They have a comedy show there every Sunday and I believe every Wednesday. But I'm sitting there and I'm sitting at a table and there are two Caucasian women sitting across from me that I don't recognize but I've seen before, and then a lady that I would consider a friend because I've known her more than a decade, and she's also a comic. So we're sitting at the table, and this young lady looked at me and she asked me, she said, "Hey, Lump, when you get in the shower, do you wash your legs?" And I was not expecting that question, but my answer for that always has been, yeah, I wash my legs. I am a very hairy man, and for those that don't know, hair retains odor. So no matter what you do in the course of a day, odor just, whatever you're around, it gets on the hair that's on your body. So if you're in a kitchen, that's what you smell like. If you're out in the, out in the world, or, somewhere where, like a junkyard or something, whatever it is that you're around, it gets on your, in your hair and on your skin, and it retains odor. So myself, I'm a person that I have to shower at least once a day. Twice a day in the summertime, sometimes 3 times a day, because I'll shower before I leave the house, then I'll come home from work, shower again, and then come home after show and shower, because summertime is disgusting. Swamp taint, it's just not good. It's not good. It's not good. Grown man just sweating up his underwear from working. I used to deliver appliances. The summers were brutal, but I have to wash, so I wash. And I use a wash rag. I don't even want to. I could fucking do a tutorial on how to do that. And the proper way to wash yourself, I can't believe I'm about to say this into a camera, but you idiots need it, is you need 2 wash rags. Not 1, but 2. The first rag is your face rag. Your face rag only touches your face. You're to change the face rag every day. For real, you're supposed to change the body rag every day too. Not a lot of people do that either. I'm about a 2 day, second day. I did the second day. New wash rag. But you need a face rag and a body rag, and you have to wash. So my response to her was, yes, I do wash my legs. And another lady that was sitting at the table with us chimed in and told the lady that asked the question, she said, "Could you please stop asking black people those kinds of questions, because you are making us look bad." Which led to me having an onstage joke about asking people if they wash their legs or not. And I was at a show, I think I was either in South Philly, or I was South Philly or somewhere, and a white guy stood up and was like, "My girlfriend made me." He said that his black girlfriend took him in the bathroom, put him in the shower, and showed him how to wash properly. And it changed his life. And like he was so super cool about that. If you don't use a wash rag, that's cool. That's for you. I use a wash rag because I got to get places. I got to get everything. I've got to be clean. Wash your fucking legs. Wash your legs. You have to wash your legs. There's a myth or a rumor, and even though I'm being racist, no, everybody knows it. Fucking certain white people be walking around smelling like dogs. Wet dogs. This is y'all not washing your fucking legs. Wash your legs. What led to this becoming even a segment is there's a very popular comedian named Tom Segura, who is hilariously funny. Please look him up. Please watch his stand-up. He's very, very funny. Has a podcast, I believe, with his wife, and possibly his mother, maybe a guest or something, or like a co-host or something, but definitely his wife. And he said on this podcast that only poor people use wash rags. If that is true, Y'all 1% is the nastiest shit. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing out? Y'all got all this money and you can't wash your body properly? And this is coming from a man with no teeth. Listen, wash your fucking ass. Get rags. They sell them everywhere. Kmart, Walmart, the whole bit. They have different soaps and no, just don't be LOD. Don't be lotion over dirt. Don't just spray shit on yourself. Go get in the shower. Water, soap. Make it happen. Stop being disgusting. Stop smelling disgusting. You will feel so much better after a shower where you have washed your body properly. I can't lay in my bed unless my body is clean. Ugh. Same motherfucker be kissing dogs in the mouth, nasty bastards. Ugh. I couldn't walk around stinking. I just couldn't. I can't. It's ugh. I just ugh. Just nasty. But so please, if you care about yourself and the world around you, wash your fucking body. Wash your legs. Don't just wash the top and let the soap drip down. That is disgusting. I don't even know how to segue to the next shit. I will take the time out though in this moment to feel free to ask questions. Go to Life's Ugly. I'm gonna start doing videos on my Instagram, which is Life's Ugly, LIFESUGLY, and I want responses to some of the questions that I'm gonna ask, and we're not gonna do any right this second, although we should. Matter of fact, let's do it. Anybody, but mostly ladies, what is the best soap that a man can use? Not necessarily to attract you, like I'm pretty sure you're gonna like what you put in there anyway, but to make themselves clean. What's the best way that a man can make himself clean? And some of y'all probably gonna say a shape up, because I know I need one, but I don't know, I like my beard. I've been wanting my beard forever. Just want to take a quick time out to shout out Pool Sandwich Joint, 1710 North 5th Street. Some of the best sandwiches on the planet. Get you one. Moving right along, the next topic that I have is about growing up poor but hustling. And hustling isn't always about money. The end result usually becomes money, but it's always about something that you love or enjoy, or things that you wanted to do. I was blessed in my life that I have my father, and my father at a very young age was an appliance technician, and he took me under the wing like fried rice. And basically I've been going into people's houses since I was about 8 years old to basically service and fix appliances, washers, dryers, stoves, refrigerators. At this moment in my life right now in 2023, I still do some of those things, but I tend to stay away from refrigerators because they put, I don't know, in the advent of the 90s, they put a lot of unnecessary technology in appliances that don't need them. And in some ways, that is actually true, because the old way was working. You didn't need to put motherboards and lid locks, and there's refrigerators out here with TVs in them. And six out of the last 7 years, I delivered appliances professionally, and I can only tell you, I can tell you that only 3 out of the 20 refrigerators that I delivered with a TV in them made sense for the customer that had them. And the main one was this grandmother. She was about 92 years old, and she still got up, got around real good and all that. And she had this really tiny kitchen, but there was enough space for the refrigerator with the TV in it, and so they put that in there. And she was, technology, and had enough technological savvy to like connect her phone to the TV and watch TV and all that while she was cooking and stuff. Other than that, there's no reason for you. You have a TV in your phone. Everybody's walking around with a supercomputer. Like, I could watch the Sixers game right now. I could watch a game from 28, 30, 40 years ago right now. There's no reason for you to have a fucking a refrigerator with a fucking TV in it. There's no reason for that. But I still do service appliances and that sort of thing. And I love my father for giving me a trade, because even after he closed his business and retired from it, I was still able to parlay that into a career in delivering appliances. And I know how to strip a refrigerator completely down and put it back together. Same thing with a stove, same thing with a washing machine, same thing with a dryer. People call me when, they trying to get shit in places and they can't because they don't know how to take it apart. I definitely do that. I need money and you need those things in that place so they can work. So call me, holla at me. But what I was talking about was, growing up with some sort of trade. And when you go in people's houses all the time, you're taught to be respectful and, not to act out of pocket and that sort of thing. As I got a little older, I had a filler job. And if you're from Philadelphia, some of you may remember, once you got your work permit in the summertime, they would have like filler jobs. And mine was with like a group that was near my high school. I graduated from Mastbaum in '95. And we would meet right off of K&A before it looked like what it looked like today, and get together and clean up the neighborhood and straighten up and that sort of thing. And on Fridays they would all meet at Temple University at like a hub. I can't remember. I could take you to the building, but I can't remember the name of it. But we would go in there and they would have like an assembly. And I remember the first assembly. I was 15 years old. I remember the first assembly that we went to. They actually had somebody come out like with condoms. They gave everybody condoms, and then they like pulled out the banana and rolled the condom down on the banana and all that. And then I took those condoms and I went to my girlfriend's house, who lived around the corner from me, and we put those to good use. And we both lost our virginity that day. While Beauty and the Beast was playing. It was such a fun time. And then other jobs, like I said, the segment is growing up poor but hustling. Everybody in the hood, I'm not gonna say everybody, let me take that back. A lot of us in the hood sold some sort of drugs. Good or bad, we did it because it needed to be done. There was some people that was just selling drugs. They ain't had nothing better to do. And when I say drugs, I mean weed, I mean coke, and I mean heroin. Weed, it was recreational. I still haven't heard about anybody ODing on weed. Is that a thing? Does that happen? I don't think it does. It can make you lazy. It can make you like miss out on things and not do stuff. But nobody ODs on that. Cocaine. I've actually never done cocaine. Never. I've never done it. I've seen it. I've seen other people do it. I got a big ass nose, and we just can't be putting stuff up my nose. I don't. I've never really wanted to put anything up there, and I don't judge those that do. It's just like you see some people going through some things. I always felt like cocaine was more of a gateway drug than marijuana was, because most people that I know that smoked weed around the time that I was smoking weed and just stayed with weed don't really do anything other than that. Maybe drink. You see some people mix. I can't really mix my alcohol and my liquor, but I will use weed to pull myself out of a drunken stupor. And I know that doesn't sound like it makes sense, but for me it has and does and probably will again. And like I said, I don't judge people that do cocaine. And then, access to cocaine. There's no coca fields in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, as far as I know. There might be like an underground grow house or some shit, but I'm pretty sure they don't I'm pretty sure the shit is imported, and we're not. We're not a major seaport. We're not. But we get stuff. Like we get stuff. Like I know cars come here and all that. So we got access to shit, but we don't grow the shit here. It definitely came here, and the same goes for the heroin. Like heroin, H and fentanyl and all that craziness. There's some of us. I didn't sell it myself. I knew some people that were moving some things, and they were doing well with it. And I was just like the we'll say getaway driver, and leave it at that. And I don't judge people for what they did to put food on their table unless they purposely, intentionally are hurting like children. If we all adults and you know the difference between right and wrong, getting strung out happens, and we pray for those people and we don't want bad things to happen to them. But at the same time, that is a choice you made. Just like it was a choice for me to start picking up and smoking cigarettes, which is terrible. It's a terrible habit. I need to stop doing it. But I'm an adult, and one day I'm going to have to pay for that. And people, you know what I'm saying? The same goes for weed and cocaine as well. I'm not taking that. I'm not acting like, heroin is the worst of the three. But if you go down K&A right now, it looks pretty bad. But we also, drugs. Some of us were good at it. Some of us were terrible at it and are still in jail because of it. I dabbled. I didn't never really I had my hands on a brick maybe. I had my hands on a brick maybe once. It wasn't my brick, and we'll leave it at that. I've been offered to do a lot of things, and that will never get discussed in private either. Like I don't have, because when people bring you things and opportunities, the worst thing to do is to keep talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like everything ain't for everybody. And I know that some of the things I probably already said ain't been for nobody. But at the same time, it's a code. The code used to be no women and children, and what is between us stays between us. And for those reasons, I never really got heavy into shit because I kept seeing people fold like origami. It's no good. I can't be. If I know for sure, there's no for sure for any of it. There's no formula. There's no. All right, the practicing is good. Like the thinking that everything is gonna go well is great, but they may not always do that. So like we all hustled a little something. In between me having, like real jobs, what I would do is, my pop always kept a pickup truck, and me and my dad, we cool enough to where I could charm him out of a fucking pickup truck, and I would end up with a fucking pickup truck. And so I used to scrap metal. When I was homeless, I was scrap metal, and when I got a little bit on my feet, I was fucking scrap metal. And matter of fact, up until I started delivering appliances maybe 7-8 years ago, I was fucking scrap metaling. And scrap metaling used to be good. When it was good, it was good. When it was terrible, it was like, But then I always fell back on the appliance repair. And like moving stuff. But it's scrap metaling used to be cutthroat.
He's one of the best scientific minds we have today.
I have a joke where I used to tell about, breaking into abandoned buildings and taking all the metal inside. That is the realest shit ever. I've been in some warehouses where I shouldn't have been. And I ain't had no security, but I had a house full of metal. I got trapped inside of a building one night where I couldn't leave because the cops were outside and my truck was on the other side of the building. And I had all this metal I had accumulated, but I couldn't move the shit or drop it because that would draw noise that the fucking cops come get me. So I ended up staying in a warehouse for about 18 hours. My phone was on 4% when I turned it off. When I fucking just turned it off and I weeded. The bad part was the warehouse was about 4 blocks away from a police station. They had no clue I was in there, but I knew they was there. And And I made sure not to make no fucking noise and to chill. And I fell off the face of the fucking earth for a day and a half, trying to get away from these motherfuckers, so I could go make some money to fucking do whatever needed to be done. I remember, oh man, my part of my squad, my homie Boo, his grandparents were selling their house, and he was like, yo, you can go get all the metal inside. And he had like bunk beds and fucking, he said, do everything but don't rip the copper out. And that's another conversation for another day. We used to, I was a copper pirate, boy. You know what I mean? I was a copper pirate. You hear me? Copper, lead, all that shit. I used to fucking, listen. I apologize if you think I got your house, but I'm not saying it was me. But I did, yeah. We used to go get that shit. But anyway, I was in Boo and them crib out southwest, and he said, go ahead and, you know what I mean, just go ahead and take everything. You know what I mean, take all the metal. And so I'm fucking taking the metal off the second floor. I'm putting it all together. Whether I you know what I mean, I'm loading my truck up. I'm coming back. And in between one of the trips, I maybe spent like an hour in the house because I have actual tools. Like, I'm mechanically inclined. So I'm like using my drill. And I got music playing and all that downstairs. And I'm taking the fucking screw out of the bed frame. And I hear the cops like, yo, let nobody move. They took my phone and spiked it like a football and broke it. Because the music was loud, blaring out of it. Because I was entertaining myself while I was doing this. And they ended up being real cool because I told them, like, yo, my parents live down the street. Like, this is my neighborhood. Everybody here knows me. And, you know, his grandpa ended up coming down and, calling in and making sure that nothing happened to me. So props to them for that. Moving on, I don't even know how to segue into this. We moving from that into sports. We gonna get better with the segues. When I first started doing stand-up, I used to suck at segues. I used to have to like start over. It would be like I would start my set over 3 different times in 5 minutes to tell 3 jokes. And now I'm a monster, so this is only the second one. We working hard out here, though. Daddy working hard out here. You gotta, you know what I mean, help him out. Cash at me. Life's ugly. Anyway, I want to say one statement, and then I want to start a conversation. So my statement is that, it's gonna be twofold now because the idea just popped in my head. The first thought is analytics ruins sports. And the reason why I say that is because now everything, whether it be you're down by 2 in basketball or up by 2 in hockey or down in distance in football, there's analytics to say this is what you should do. But the difference is once something is done, it's done. It doesn't, some of those numbers have nothing to do with the spirit or the will of the game. So that is my statement. If you want to comment on that, whether I'm right or wrong, at Life's Ugly, I think we're going to have to put a Twitter together for this. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, we're going to get it together. But for now, hit me up at _lump on Twitter, at Life's Ugly on Instagram. The next is a conversation piece. Now, a lot of us are basketball enthusiasts. We love basketball. Some of us are historians. We understand where the game has been, where it has been, and what it's been through. And the biggest debate right now in sports is who is the greatest basketball player of all time. Now, I'm going to save my answer to that for the end of this segment. But what I will say is that the 2 people that they name the most are LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. LeBron James, also arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. The reason that I have a problem with people comparing these two basketball players is they do not play the same position. When they had the Jordan versus Kobe debates, or even Kobe versus Iverson, or I haven't heard too many Jordan versus Iverson, but when you have those debates, those players, those three players, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, they all played the same position. Shooting guard. LeBron James is a forward. Whether you have him at a small forward or a power forward, he is a forward. That is not the same thing. There was never a debate that there should have been for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus Michael Jordan as being the greatest basketball player ever. But in that same instance, a lot of people come up with the reason being that they're not the same position, and I agree with that. So I want to introduce something different, and that introduction is just Mount Rushmore. And I know it's not different, but the reason why this is different is because in this Mount Rushmore, you can have more than one player at the same position, right? If once you take it to two, you're limiting it to just two players, and sometimes those players can be argued upon, and sometimes they can not even be discussed. Right? We just talked about that with Kareem and Jordan and LeBron. But when you add four, just four, like I'm pretty sure all the basketball fans have seen that some of the basketball media online have been putting out Mount Rushmore. So like there was a small forward Mount Rushmore, and it had for what I remember, I could be wrong. It had Dr. J. In no particular order, I had Dr. J, Larry Bird, Kevin Durant, and I want to say it might have been Scottie Pippen. I'm not sure. It was like Elgin Baylor or something like that. But it was four. So if you're doing a Mount Rushmore for your four greatest players of all time, who do you have? Now, you don't have to stick to it, because it can change at any time depending on how you're feeling about things. A lot of that stuff, because it's just conversational, it could change as we go. But off the top of my head, mine would be, let's start it off with the one everybody knows is going to be there: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I'm going to say Tim Duncan. Now, the list is fluid. Like, I could come back in 3 weeks and it changed. You know what I'm saying? But right now, that would probably be my four. What are your four? I want some good ones. What would be your four greatest basketball players of all time? Now, I know it's going to be a lot of Kobe and Jordan and maybe Magic, and it's gonna be a lot of things. But what would your Mount Rushmore be? And we can take that to other sports. We could do football, but on football, when you do something like this, you got to do offense and defense. So let's do defensive ends or defensive linemen. I would go Derek Thomas, Reggie White, no particular order. Derek Thomas, Reggie White. Aaron Donald, and that's not even because he's new. But and J.J. Watt, that would be like a four. Now the list is fluid. I come back in 3 weeks, and before anybody says like Lawrence Taylor should be in that, I feel like even though he was really a defensive end, he played linebacker. So if I was to do four linebackers right now, it would be Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis. Sheesh. The problem I'm having right now is so many great linebackers. Singletary, And Dick Butkus. Rest in peace to Dick Butkus. He passed not long ago. Like, let's see. We can even go hockey. Let's go, and I'll even throw a goalie in there with him. In hockey, I would go, and I hate the Pittsburgh Penguins, but I would go Sidney Crosby, Lemieux, who was also a Penguin, but like, you know, as far as like sports hatred, not regular, like I don't know, boy, I'm pretty sure he's a wonderful man. So Crosby, Lemieux, Gretzky, and then to be a homer, I'll go fucking Bobby Clark. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Mount Rushmore could be anything that you want it to be. Take it back to football on offense. Sheesh. I would go. Shit, you gotta take Brady. Give me Brady, Moss. They played together and didn't win a Super Bowl. Ain't that incredible? Give me Brady, Moss, Jerry Rice. Give me a running back. Give me a LaDainian Tomlinson. Like for that offensive route, Mount Rushmore. What would be your football offensive like Mount Rushmore? It would have to be 2 wide receivers. See that, and that's bad because that would be different. I was just had a thought in my head. Because of the way football is, let's not choose the quarterback, right? We could go quarterback at any time. Let's go 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back. How would you put that together? So once again, I'm gonna go Moss with Rice, even though I would like T.O. in there somewhere, but Jerry Rice is a monster. Give me Jerry Rice, Moss. Give me a tight end. Give me Antonio Gates. His numbers don't support it, but I feel like he's top 5 tight ends of all time. He didn't even play college football. That man was a monster. And at running back, give me Barry Sanders. Why not? Now the list's fluid. You can change it. It's just Mount Rushmore. It's just 4. You know what I mean? I don't know. Nothing is carved. Nothing is carved in stone yet. Because it's Mount Rushmore. What else? We did basketball. We did football. Oh shit. Baseball would probably be tough on that because there's so many positions in baseball. So we could exclude baseball from that one. It's cool. The next segment. Let's get into some things. I want to talk about women. I love y'all. I love y'all. I do love y'all. I love y'all a lot. I'm gonna open with how I feel like I attracted them. Little did I know it wasn't up to me at all. Like I didn't find that out till I was an adult that women choose. Like rarely does, and I'm not in no way am I a pretty man. This is not pretty. I'm handsome. My grandma told me I'm handsome. None of you ladies could ever like demean my spirit enough for me not to think I'm handsome. I know I'm handsome. I do well. I do well. I've done well. I think I'm where I'm at. I'm gonna be where I'm at. But I've done well. I've done okay. I'm not great, but I've done okay. Right? Now, how I think I attracted them when I had all my teeth, the big lips always pulled them in. Because I remember when I was in elementary school, I was like, yo, he got them big ass lips, he ugly as shit. And then like puberty happened to women, and then they were like, yo, his lips big as shit. Yeah, y'all not slick. That and my eyelashes. I don't know why I got these butterfly, I'll fly away old glories on. I don't know. They're not umbrellas. Y'all be tripping with that shit. Like, but for some reason, women, the brown eyes, and the fucking lashes, they pull them in. I don't know why. I don't do nothing crazy. I don't flutter them. I had a woman get mad at me like, you keep doing it. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here looking handsome. That's all I can do. I can't do much more than that. That's how I believe I've attracted women. That, and on top of the fact that I've been lifting appliances since I was like 10. I've been delivering them since I was 15. So I always stocky, and you know what I mean, always had a little I have like a brute strength. I don't know my own strength, even to this day, and I've been retired from appliance delivery for a year now. It'll be a year. December 23rd of 2022 was the last time I delivered an appliance. It was that day where it went from 55 degrees to minus 10 on the wind chill factor, on some real shit. And I remember the boss at where I used to work at called us on the phone, and we was like, yo, we can't, I don't think we're going to be able to finish him. He said some old smart shit, and I said it back. And I just knew that relationship was over. But I retired from that shit. So, but I've never been like a pushover. I've always been kind of stocky. I still got weights at home, even though I don't use them. But I've always been like low center of gravity. Like when I play basketball, you know what I mean. I'm muscling you out the way. I'm moving. My homies growing up used to call me all rough because my favorite game to play in basketball, which I need to get back into, was Rough House. I love playing Rough House. The 35, you get your own rebound, and you know what I mean, you basically playing for yourself. I was about to say with yourself, and that would not have gone well. That's how I always felt like, and I always showered. We talked about showering at the beginning. You remember the beginning of the episode where we were talking about washing your ass? Yeah, I wash my ass every day, at least once a day. And make sure you wash everywhere. Some of you nasty motherfuckers out here not washing your butt line because you swear that it's gay. What the fuck is wrong with you? You gonna catch some old fucking sea hag disease and fucking die. Wash your ass and wipe it properly, you nasty motherfuckers. Go get the fucking wipes too. Keep your butt clean. Needed to be. Nothing worse than walking around all day with an itchy butthole. But anyway, always, where did this shit be coming from? I always, you know what I mean, was not in shape, but I was almost out of shape. I was when I was like 23, I was like 290, and I spent 2 years just eating one meal a day and exercising, and I got down to 260. I'm 260 in the wintertime and 240 in the summertime, and I might have to get smaller than that now because I'm getting older, and extra weight is just not the thing. Women, how they attracted me. I've always been attracted to women that are themselves. And I explain that the way that I would like to explain that is, some people out here every day are just putting on a facade. They have to be a big to-do, and they have to look a certain way. I know women that won't come out the house without makeup on. That's terrible. That means every time I see you, you're in a costume. Their fucking eyes and mouth and all that are lying to me every time I see you. I've never seen you. I don't know who you are. You've been putting makeup on it for fucking 25 years. I get the basic shit, like, you know what I mean, women plucking their eyebrows to make them longer, or eyelashes to make them longer, and getting why y'all be looking like drawn birds with the thing, like when y'all get your eyebrows arched and all that. Y'all be looking like y'all be looking like an artist rendering of some seagulls. Like, what the fuck is going on with that? Like, what? Like, I don't know. I've always been a breast man, although a nice ass is also always a plus. But I just love titties. From day one, that's just been my twist. And now I can't hurt you because the teeth come out. I've been attracted to tall women, short women, brown skinned women, dark skinned women, light skinned women. I think women of other races are also pretty, but for me, just black women, I just love y'all. I just do. I just think you're so beautiful. But it seems to me, from what I see, that y'all don't think that y'all are beautiful. Like y'all don't embrace your hair. You try to emulate someone else, and maybe that's another discussion for another day. I don't know. I like a woman that's put together. Mm. Well put together. I was just like, off the top of my head, it would have to be titties first, but that changes too because I've known women that their personality was the fucking best attribute that they had, regardless of what the body was. You know what I mean? Like some people, they just shine through their aura, their spirit. It just makes them beautiful for them to be themselves. So you know what I mean, try to be yourselves more. What I do like about women is even though me myself, I never grew up with my mother, I appreciate and I love when I see women caring. Some of that is motherly, some of that is friendly, but all the time it's honest. I love when I see a woman caring. And women care in many ways, and even there's a lot of caring in a woman telling you no or denying you access to something that is not themselves. It's not about sex. Like, I love when I see a woman caring or donating or helping. I love that. I love when we can discuss things and not argue. I don't like to argue. I don't want to raise my voice. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to keep having to tell you the same thing. And I don't want you to have to keep telling me the same thing. But at the same time, I'm high a lot and I'll be forgetting shit. So you might have to say it to me a couple of times. And I'm not going to blow up at you. Because that's not, like, I don't want to argue. It's not that I'm not confrontational. I've, like, had women not mess with me because I didn't want to fucking fight or show fight. And it's like, what the fuck am I just out here like, am I fucking Trey swinging at the air? Like, what am I fighting? If you would like certain things, then you have to say them. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Like, it irks me sometimes that a woman will go, well, he didn't fight for this. Nigga, I was fighting the whole time. You could have told me what I needed to do in the fight. You know what I mean? Like, you not telling me to look for the overhand right. You know what I'm saying? I'm protecting against the uppercut. Like, it's just how they say now, the math ain't mathing. I like that statement. I do love women that care. I love people that care, but I love when a woman cares about me and others. Alright. What I don't like, we got another hour. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a long list. It's not a long list. I don't like when I was a kid, one of the older ladies in the neighborhood, she said, you could always tell when there's young girls around because you hear them. You can always hear young girls around, right? And when I say young girls, I mean like teenagers, like 15 and under. What I don't like is there are women that are 55 to 60 years old, and I can hear them. Like I don't that is not cool to me. Like it's one thing to need to be heard, it's another thing to be just loud for no fucking reason. And maybe because I'm not a jump out the window kind of dude, everything's not worth the argument or the yelling and why this nigga doing this to me, and I just said the word that. Can we edit that? Because I don't like that word to be on there. Yeah, and I slipped and let it out. It seems like some women don't treasure decency. And I don't know where that came from, other than programming, but there's no reason. Like, all right, so like the dress code I stay away from. When I see, like, if I was single and I see a woman, if she got hair down to a butt and it's not hers, no go. If she has furry slippers on or anything furry boots, any of that shit, not interested. There could be fur inside the boots. It's wintertime. You gotta have fur in your boots. Do I own a pair of boots with fur in them? I might. I think I got some polo boots with some fur on them or some shit. But they warm as hell. But and like the furry slippers and if I see a woman with like furry slippers or loud wigs. Oh. What else? Skirt too small. I mean not shirt. Skirt too small. Wearing shirts as skirts. You know what the biggest pet peeve of mine is? And this is just not for women. This is for everybody. Can we as adults, if you're over the age of 26, you are an adult. I know the law says 21 and 18 and all. If you are over the age of 26, can we please stop wearing inside clothes outside? There is no reason for you to be wearing pajamas to the corner store. You could put some basketball shorts on, a pair of sweatpants, a little t-shirt, something. There is no reason for your peoples to be wearing their negligee to the corner store. She ain't got no clothes on. She just wore, it basically looked like she wearing a slip to the store. There's no reason for that. No reason. I had more. We just got the tap, so I might have to close it. We might have to come back to this one. I'm gonna write some of this stuff down when I see it. What about y'all? What's y'all pet peeves? What don't y'all like seeing in public? From everybody, men and women. I don't like to pick on the ladies, so if you feel like I said something inappropriate, I apologize. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. Going back to the first segment about hygiene. I'm sorry, I gotta squeeze this in. Because I told the young lady that I would do it. Okay, so going back to the hygiene stuff, it was a post on Facebook and it said, comedian Endo Jones said, Tom Segura said using washcloths was for poor people. What? With 2 question marks. And then I shared that post and put it at the top of it. And Tom doesn't wash his legs, which he said in that same setting. A friend of mine, a lovely young lady named Mimi Powell, asked, my question to the people that don't use washcloths is, how do you wash behind your ears? Question mark. Between your toes? Question mark. The back of your neck, etc. Question mark. After a stomach illness, they just rubbing soap between their cheeks and they done? Ew, a whitewash rag will make them realize how dirty they still are. And Mimi is right, because I've used a whitewash rag, had to reconsider some things and get back in there. You gotta go back in the game at the Yo, you know what, man? This was fun. This was fun. About tired of bumping my gums. And, well, I think I'm gonna have to create a No Chops Twitter. But for now, if you need to contact me at _lump on Twitter, Instagram, Life's Ugly, Cash App, Life's Ugly, Lump Hamilton on YouTube. If you have any questions about what you saw on this episode, feel free to reach out to me. I plan on talking back with y'all. Any topics, any questions about the topics, we could always go back in and get to it. This has been the No Chops Podcast, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Thank you, and peace. Life is ugly, so smile more. Y'all take it easy. I'll see y'all soon.
Excellence!